Auston, what do you see in this Islanders side today? What do you guys need to be aware of?
Yeah, I mean, they're a solid team. Up and down their lineup, they all play very similarly. Obviously, they got some skilled guys, that like to make plays a lot. But all in all, I think just their team's really solid. They play physical, and it'll be another good test for us tonight.
Saturday night, how much did that in-game adjustment by Sheldon Keefe and Mitch and William think impact your game?
I think there's lots of things that make impacts to the game. I thought we just elevated our game and played really well defensively. Tried to limit their opportunities inside and grade A chances, and just kind of try to push them to the outside. So, I thought there's a lot of adjustments that kind of go that happen throughout the game, and I thought we made some really good ones on Saturday. And I think we just want to continue to progress, continue to build as a team, and especially against tough opponents. A lot of games that come right after another, that we just want to make sure we're focused and playing well.
What do you appreciate what Josh Sheldon has done since you guys came back from the West Coast? There's a lot of heat on him. It seems like he's pushed the right button.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's heat on everybody, and I think we just get the playing, try to figure out what works, make adjustments, like you said, and try to find what's working for us. So, like I said before, we just want to continue to progress as a team. I think we've made some really good progress over the last couple of weeks and been able to string together some good wins against some tough competition, and we just want to keep it rolling.
Auston, Matt Martin on the other side there. When you came into the league, what was it like having a guy who was, quote unquote, there to keep the flies off of you and Mitch and a couple other guys?
Yeah, he was great. I think all of us that got to play with him, got to be his teammate, really enjoyed, being around him, and he was always really good to us, and, like you said, protected us on the ice, and was just a great friend, great teammate off the ice as well. So, he was definitely a really great guy to have, especially our first couple of years in the league.
Do you get the sense from John that playing with him is still kind of like a marquee game for him, or is it sort of like become like every other game?
I think it's definitely a game that he circles on his calendar. Spend that much time there, and obviously what he did for that organization, and being drafted there and everything. So I know it means a lot to him, and it means a lot to everybody in this room, because you want to go out there and play well for him and try to get a W.
He's good in every area of the game, but what do you appreciate about how he plays on the power play, John?
Yeah, he's just he's so strong on his stick, and just little battles. You kind of alluded to it. He's just so solid in so many different aspects that he just makes himself so effective. So.
The U.S. has a big game tonight or this afternoon. I'm just wondering if you're plugged into the World Cup at all.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. I'm rooting for him, but we'll see what happens. There's a lot of good teams. So.
What do you got in the pool?
I honestly don't know. Ask Benner. I have no idea. He made the pick, so.
Okay. Thanks, Auston.
Thanks.
It's been a while, John, but this is a matchup that still gets the juices going for you.
Well, obviously it's a huge part of my career and my life playing there. So, obviously, always, good to see familiar faces. Obviously, once you get on the ice, you go out there to compete and do what you have to do to get 2 points for your team. But obviously, a place that means a lot to me, and is a big, like I said, it is a big part of why I'm here today. So, should be fun just getting ready to compete and try to always keep the preparation, and I think try to get the mindset always as consistent as you can, game to game, and just build on your process that you need to do to be at your best.
It's also your 300th game as a Leaf. Does it feel like it's been that quick?
Well, it's year 5, right, I think. So time, when you think about it that way, it does feel like time has flown a little bit. It's crazy to think that that much time has passed. So, I try not to think about it a whole lot, or you're the one making me aware of it. So, it's crazy to think that it's been that much time.
A lot of heat on the team coming off of the California swing. I'm just wondering what you appreciate about how Sheldon has maneuvered this last stretch for you guys.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of trust, I think, between him and the coaching staff and the group here, and continuing to have a feel and pulse of what's going on with the group and how we're feeling and where our game's at, the mental side of things as well. And understanding just, the day-by-day process that we talk about, and just, starting to have a really good day today, and working on what we need to, and getting prepared to play for that next opportunity, and building things out there, and not trying to, look at it in a sense where, you got to be very radical at whatever point in the season. It's just continuing to work through the ups and downs and the grind of it. And I think he's shown that throughout his time here. And like I've said in the past, we're lucky to have him as a coach. He's a great coach, and it gives us a lot of confidence and belief, and gives us the tools and understanding what we need to do in the situations that present themselves to make the adjustments necessary.
What does it mean, like when you is what happened Saturday, that flipping Mitch and William, and kind of another example of his feel for the bench in a game, even though like the score was still, the game was in hand kind of still, but he makes that change preemptively.
Yeah, I mean, that's, I think part of what's gotten him to this point and the success he's probably had in the past is his feel and understanding of the team and the people within it, the combinations and the chemistry that's going on, and how to get the most out of everybody and try to push the right buttons. And, it's a lot to manage, from 4 lines to, all the pairings on the back end and goaltending situation, and obviously the whole dynamic of the team and how we're playing. So, yeah, it's a lot of credit to him, just whether it's a situation like that or every single day, the countless decisions that he has to make in lineup or preparation, and how to challenge the group, when to give praise, all those sorts of things. It's a lot on an individual, and he does a great job of it.
Hey, is it Cal is going to set, I know it's only since 05, but he's closing in on the hit record, since they kept, is it kind of amazing that he's still, kind of playing at this level the way he plays all these years later?
For sure, and I got to play with him in junior too, and he laid a few there as well. So I think just speaks to the commitment and the longevity. He's physically been through a lot, I know. So it's impressive how he's been able to be that durable and do what he needs to do to show up every night and be a difference maker and play hard. So. Knowing that on being both sides of that, so yeah, incredible that he's gonna get there and getting that opportunity. It's great for him.
Brock Nelson is someone that he did a 38-goal season last year, off to a strong start this year. Some people may not know his name, but I remember reading that Barry Trotz said he always thought that Nelson was someone that had more in him. Did you think that when you played with him, that he was capable of maybe playing at this level?
Yeah, I think Brock was highly touted, when he was drafted, and there was a lot of belief about the tools and the skill set that he has. And you kind of seen him really start to flourish here the last number of years. As you'd see some really good spurts for him, but he's really kind of gone to his game at a high level, like you said, and the results are showing. So, no doubt he's a challenge, especially with his big body and how well he can skate. Obviously, great offensive instincts, competes extremely hard. So. Yeah, a really good player, and then obviously a challenge for us tonight.
He was on your wing for quite a bit in 2016, I believe. You must have known his finishing abilities were there. So is there a surprise for you that he's been scoring this well, or not at all?
Yeah, not really. I think, sometimes some guys get off really hot starts, or, you see when confidence builds and they go through hot streaks. And sometimes everyone's kind of on a different curve or path in terms of their evolution as a player, and obviously he's, continued that and kind of come into his own.
Sheldon, does William have to alter his defensive game at all when he plays with Auston, or his game in any way?
No, for William, the challenge is always, to stay engaged defensively no matter who he's playing with. But when I use Auston in some difficult matchups and head-to-head matchups, it's, the attention to detail has to be that much greater for everybody. So that's the challenge for William. I think offensively, no matter who he's playing with, he plays the same, and he has the same ability to produce and make plays and such. But on some particular nights, it's even more important that defensive details are there.
When you made that change on Saturday, how much of that is it? Like, what did you see to know that you had to do that? Because the game score obviously still in control, still relatively early.
I just felt that we were losing the matchup. And it wasn't one that I wanted to get away from in terms of Auston versus Thompson there, but we just felt that switch could help us in that regard, and I felt that it did. But it's, like I said, I thought for that game it was something that we could use and that could help us, and then at the same time could help William and John in that matchup that they were going to get. Today's a different challenge and a different opportunity for us against this Islanders team, so our focus is on that and reset things a little bit, and we'll get back to it.
Sheldon, 6 weeks into the season now, where do you think the team is at in terms of you finding comfort, what you guys do, finding your rhythm, all those sorts of things?
we're starting to get to the point, I think, where we've got some real traction with our group in terms of how we need to play to have success. Now we think there's another level to get to offensively for sure, but there's a lot of things defensively that we've done, all four lines, the six defensemen, despite missing key people on the back end, that I think we've just insulated our team very well defensively. And that's given us a chance at success. We've been good on special teams, power play, the other night scores 2 huge goals for us in quick time, and penalty kill was called on too much, but did its job. So things are starting to come together. We get a big goal from the third line there. So lots of things that I have been feeling good about in terms of things just kind of settling in. And, we're looking forward to that continuing to grow. But I think each season is its own beast. We have a number of changes from our team last season, and it's taken a little bit of time, and we're still not where I think we can be, but it's certainly starting to look a lot more like we're capable of.
Any update on Brody Samsonov?
Samsonov, I think we're expecting to see back on the ice tomorrow. He seems like he's taking a step positively, but they did keep him off the ice again today. So he's going to come on the road and travel with us. But at this point anyway, I think that's more so just to stay in the rhythm with our group and continue to work with Curtis. I'm not expecting him to be available for us this week. Brody is not progressing as quickly as they'd like, and he won't travel with us.
What do you see in the Islanders, Coach?
A lot of similarities in terms of what you expect when you're playing an Islanders type of team. Obviously, you look at their forward group; it's pretty much the same as it's been, and obviously there's coaching change there. Yet there's still a lot of familiarity, a lot of consistency with how they've played. Very strong goaltending. Play real hard, physical. Different type of team than we've played. Looking at last week, so there'll be some adjustments to the game and the style of play that's going to be required to win. But goaltending gives them a chance every night, and it's a team that really believes in who they are and what they do.
Sheldon, I know you mentioned before that it's daily conversation about whether to play Nick Robertson. At what point do you feel like it's sort of a detriment to his development if he's not getting game match?
Well, a couple things. First of all, I'm not going to answer this question every single day. It's getting redundant. But what I would say is that there's a lot of benefits to being in the NHL for a young player.
For the defense, with changing it back after the change you made in the game, is that just a matter of keeping Sandin and Liljegren together to kind of stick with that pair?
Well, similar to the forwards, in the last game, we thought we had to make some changes to the D pairs. Nothing to do with Sandin and Liljegren. That was more us, having to deal with the adjustment we wanted to make with putting Hall up against the Thompson line with Riley. So that was just sort of the trickle-down effect. So again, we just wanted to reset things here today and go back with the group we've been working with.
Schedule's obviously really busy, so I imagine you were looking for a game for Sheldon. What made today a good option for him?
Yeah, nothing to do with Sheldon as much as it is to do with Murray. Today would have been 4 games in 6 days for him, and that's a lot to ask for any goalie. Never mind a guy coming off of injury reserve whose season essentially is just beginning. So that's really all that it is, and at the same time, Shalgren's done a good job for us. The team's played well when he's been in there, so no hesitance that way. And Murray was able to get some work in today after a full day off yesterday, and he'll go in New Jersey.
So there's a lot of revisionist history of what if the Leafs didn't sign John Tavares, but as a coach to have 2 number 1 centers, what is the luxury? Is it just you can shift wingers in and out?
Yeah, it gives us great.
What does it really give you as a coach?
It gives us lots of great options and opportunities. It also, like I was saying, in terms of what we did last game, it just gives us opportunities to, at home especially, to get really favorable matchups for our guys and become a very difficult team to defend that way. So, yeah, it's a nice thing to have. Obviously, the additional depth. The additional depth, if you have one guy not going one night, and usually one of the two is going to be going, and you get enough production that way. But whether it's those 2 lines themselves or it opens up other opportunities for other players on other lines, It just, you can see a lot of the top teams in the league sort of have that, where you've got to make a decision each night. How are we going to defend, or who are we going to choose to defend the most and play, our best defensive people, or the teams or the lines that are going to be able to match up the best. And, I think that's really the separator between a lot of the different, the top tier teams and the teams that are fighting for playoff spots every year.
So what do you like the way, about the way that Jordy stepped into the lineup to kind of fill that gap for you?
Yeah, he's just, like we talked about it, his personality and all of those things really help our group, but he's just a veteran player and knows how to play and can use him in lots of different situations. He's very comfortable on the penalty kill, and he's played a lot there throughout his career. So when you lose two guys like Muzzin and Brody that are significant parts of your penalty kill, that fits. There's the physical piece that he brings, and as we've said, he's contributed to the offense as well in terms of making plays and moving the puck. So it's been really nice to be able to have someone like him to step in at this time in particular.
How much did it help to have an established captain like John sort of in place when you make your transition into the job that you're in right now, like midway through the season? Yeah, very important. I mean, the captain is one thing, but just the experience and pedigree that he has in the league. I go back to, the day I was hired and I had to fly out to Arizona, and at the time, John was, I think he had come back for a funeral and had to go back as well. So he and I flew together and spent a significant amount of time there, just kind of giving him a sense of what I had planned on doing and where the team was at, and I thought really helped set me up for success. Through that, Mitch Marner was on the plane as well, so there's right away you get those guys that are so important to the team and have a great sense of how things are going. Really helps you, and I think that was a good launching point for our relationship and for me to do my job.
3 years gone by quickly.
It's been a lot that's happened. Never mind hockey life and the world. It's been a little crazy how quickly that's gone through. Yeah.